Hi, I'm Caroline. Last month, I graduated summa cum laude from State University with a degree in psychology. My family threw me a party that should have been perfect until my Aunt Meredith decided to help. Caroline, there you are! Tyler, my cousin, rushed over as I entered my parents' backyard for the celebration. Your cake looks amazing, or it did. You should see what happened. What do you mean, did? I asked, following Tyler to the food table. The once beautiful three-tier graduation cake now sat lopsided, with the top tier completely removed and placed beside it. The decorative fondant cap and diploma had been peeled off. Who did this? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Aunt Meredith? Tyler said, crossing his arms. She said it was too fancy and would give people the wrong idea about you. She did what? I stared at the ruined cake my best friend had spent hours making. She kept saying, Caroline needs to learn humility. Tyler mimicked her voice perfectly. Then she scraped off half the decorations while everyone watched. And nobody stopped her? Your mom just stood there, Tyler said, shaking his head. And get this, most of them laughed like it was some funny joke. Only Eric and I said anything. Who laughed exactly? I asked, my hands trembling slightly. I want to know who thought this was amusing. Uncle Mark? Grandma Jean? Your mom's friends from the garden club? Quite a few people, Tyler admitted. Uncle Steve even took photos, like it was some kind of prank and not, mean. Eric, my dad's college friend, approached us. Hey, Caroline. Congratulations, kiddo. Thanks, Eric. Did you see what happened with the cake? Sure did, he nodded grimly. Meredith was on a mission, said she was teaching you a lesson about pride. She specifically said that? I asked, my stomach tightening. Her exact words were, Caroline's getting too big for her britches with all these academic achievements. Someone needs to bring her down a peg, Eric recounted. I told her it was inappropriate, but she just waved me off. Did she ruin anything else? I asked, scanning the decorations. No, but she's been talking to everyone about how you need guidance since you arrived, Tyler said. Something about you choosing the wrong career path? Classic Meredith, I sighed. Remember my high school graduation? She told the entire family my valedictorian speech was showing off. And your 16th birthday, when she accidentally deleted all your photos because you were being too vain about them, Tyler added. Wait, Eric interrupted, leaning closer. This is a pattern? Always when I accomplish something, I nodded. But ruining my graduation cake crosses a line. Well, she's heading this way, Tyler warned. Want me to run interference? No, I said, straightening my shoulders. I want to hear what she has to say for herself. Caroline, darling. Aunt Meredith's voice carried across the yard as she approached, arms outstretched. The woman of the hour. I fixed that gaudy cake for you. It was giving everyone the wrong impression. What impression would that be, Aunt Meredith? I asked coolly. Oh, she waved dismissively, that you think you're better than everyone because of some fancy degree. Trust me, sweetie, nobody likes a show-off. I'm just looking out for you. As she patted my cheek condescendingly, I noticed my mother watching nervously from across the yard, making no move to intervene. You're welcome, Aunt Meredith added with a smug smile before sauntering away to chat with other relatives. I can't believe she just did that, Tyler whispered. I can, I replied, watching her laugh with my parents. But this is the last time. The following Tuesday, I met with Mrs. Jenkins, my former psychology professor and mentor, at the campus cafe. She deliberately ruined your graduation cake? Mrs. Jenkins asked, stirring her tea. And your family laughed? All except Tyler and Eric, I confirmed. It's always been this way with Aunt Meredith. Anytime I achieve something, she finds a way to diminish it. And your parents allow this behavior? Mrs. Jenkins raised an eyebrow. My mom thinks keeping the peace is more important than standing up to her sister, I explained. She always says, Caroline, maybe you're being too sensitive. My mother's voice echoed in my mind. That's emotional invalidation, Mrs. Jenkins noted. Has your aunt's behavior escalated over time? Definitely. It started with small comments when I was younger, then accidental mishaps with my belongings, and now publicly humiliating me. This sounds like a consistent pattern of undermining behavior, Mrs. Jenkins said thoughtfully. Have you considered documenting these incidents? For what purpose? Evidence creates clarity, she replied. People like your aunt rely on others doubting what happened. If you're planning to confront this situation, you'll need allies and proof. You mean like a formal record? I asked, pulling out my notebook. Exactly. Mrs. Jenkins nodded. Start with the most recent incident and work backwards. Note dates, witnesses, what was said, how others responded. People often dismiss isolated incidents, but patterns are harder to ignore. You think my family would actually listen? Some might not, she admitted. Enablers rarely want to acknowledge their role in perpetuating harmful dynamics, but others might surprise you when presented with undeniable evidence. Later that evening, I called my mother. Mom, we need to talk about what Aunt Meredith did to my cake. Oh, Caroline, my mother sighed. Perhaps she went a little overboard, but you know how she is. She means well. Mom, she publicly humiliated me at my own graduation party, I said firmly. How exactly does that mean well? Well, maybe she thought, I don't know. Maybe the cake was a bit much? My mother's voice trailed off uncertainly. A bit much? Mom, my friend Sophia spent hours making that cake for me. I understand you're upset, but Meredith is family, she replied. She's always been a little particular about these things. It's easier if we just what? Let her keep treating me this way? I interrupted. This has been happening my entire life, and nobody ever stands up to her. What do you want me to do, Caroline? My mother's voice rose slightly. Start a family war over a cake? It's not about the cake. It's about respect and boundaries. Look, the family reunion is this weekend, my mother said, clearly trying to change the subject. Let's not create drama before then, okay? Promise me you'll be civil. I'm always civil, Mom. That's the problem. After hanging up, I called Tyler. Hey, how'd it go with Aunt Diane? He asked immediately. Exactly as expected. Let's not create drama, I mimicked my mother's voice. Shocking, Tyler replied dryly. So, what's your plan? I'm not sure yet, but I'm done letting this slide, I told him. Mrs. Jenkins suggested gathering evidence. Oh, I've got evidence, Tyler said, his voice suddenly animated. Remember when I started that family photo digitization project last year? I've got pictures and videos of at least 6 different occasions where Aunt Meredith pulled something similar. Including the cake incident? Eric recorded the whole thing on his phone. He was so disgusted he sent it to me immediately. Tyler, you're a genius, I exclaimed. Can you send me everything before the reunion? Already compiling it, he said. But what's the endgame here, Care? You know she'll just deny everything. Not if we have witnesses and proof, I replied. And I think it's time the whole family sees who she really is. I'm in, Tyler declared. Someone needs to stand up to Hurricane Meredith. This time, I said determinedly, there will be consequences. The annual family reunion was in full swing at my grandparents' lake house when I arrived with Tyler. We spotted Aunt Meredith holding court on the deck, regaling everyone with stories. Ready? Tyler asked quietly. As I'll ever be, I nodded, clutching my phone. We approached the gathering just as Aunt Meredith noticed us. Caroline! Tyler! Come join us! She called out with exaggerated warmth. I was just telling everyone about Caroline's party. Such a lovely event, even with that cake mishap. Mishap? I echoed, stepping forward. Is that what you're calling it? The conversation around us quieted. Oh, don't be dramatic, dear, Aunt Meredith laughed dismissively. It was just a cake. Actually, Aunt Meredith, I'd like to talk about that just a cake incident, I said, my voice steady. And about a pattern of behavior that's gone on for years. What pattern? She scoffed. You're being ridiculous. My mother stepped forward nervously. Caroline, maybe this isn't the time. It's exactly the time, Mom, I interrupted. Tyler, would you mind? Tyler connected his phone to the patio speakers and pressed play. Eric's video of Aunt Meredith deliberately dismantling my cake while saying I needed to be taken down a peg played for everyone to see. When it ended, the silence was deafening. That's taken completely out of context, Aunt Meredith sputtered. Is this out of context too? Tyler asked, playing another video, this one showing her accidentally deleting photos from my birthday. Or this. A third video showed her telling relatives at my high school graduation that my achievements weren't that impressive. You've been recording me? Aunt Meredith's face reddened. That's an invasion of privacy. These are family events, Aunt Meredith, Tyler pointed out, where you've consistently tried to humiliate Caroline. I was trying to help you, she turned to me, voice rising. You've always been too prideful, too showy with your accomplishments. Helping me by deliberately ruining things I care about? I asked. Someone needed to teach you humility, she snapped. Your parents certainly weren't doing it. Meredith, my father finally spoke up. That's enough. Oh, now you speak up? She whirled on him. After years of letting me guide your daughter when you wouldn't? Guide me? I laughed incredulously. Is that what you call sabotage? You ungrateful little... Aunt Meredith stepped toward me. After everything I've done for this family. Meredith, please calm down, my mother pleaded. Don't tell me to calm down, Diane, she shouted. Your precious daughter is trying to turn the family against me with these edited videos. They're not edited. Eric stepped forward, having arrived for the reunion. I recorded the cake incident myself. You stay out of this. Aunt Meredith grabbed my laptop bag from the nearby table and hurled it against the deck railing. The sound of cracking plastic made everyone gasp. My thesis was on that computer, I exclaimed. Good, Aunt Meredith shouted, face contorted with rage. Maybe now you'll learn some real-world lessons instead of hiding behind your precious academia. I'm the only one brave enough to show you what real life is like. Meredith! My father bellowed, stepping between us. That's enough. You need to leave. Now! Fine, she hissed, grabbing her purse. But don't come crying to me when she can't handle the real world. She pointed at me, trembling with anger. This isn't over. You'll regret this little stunt. As she stormed off, the rest of the family stood in shocked silence. The damage to your laptop is extensive, but we can retrieve most of the data, the technician told me 3 days later. Thank you, I nodded. I'll need a detailed report for the police and insurance. After filing a police report for property damage and getting a restraining order against Aunt Meredith for her threats, I met Mrs. Jenkins at our usual cafe. How are you holding up? She asked, studying my face. Better than expected, I admitted. It's like a weight has been lifted, even with all the drama. Sometimes confrontation is necessary for healing, Mrs. Jenkins nodded. And your family? In shock, mostly. My parents are finally acknowledging the pattern. Dad called to apologize for never stepping in before. And your mother? She's struggling, I sighed, torn between her sister and me. But she's starting to see how toxic the relationship has been. Family dynamics are rarely simple, Mrs. Jenkins observed. What about legal consequences? The hearing for the restraining order is next week. The property damage charges are proceeding too. Several family members have agreed to testify about her behavior and threats. That's significant, Mrs. Jenkins noted. Family members choosing truth over loyalty to an abuser marks a turning point. Grandma Jean actually called me yesterday, I shared. She was in tears, saying she never realized how serious it was. She thought it was just sisters being sisters all these years. And now? She's testifying too, I replied. Said she can't unsee what happened at the reunion. My phone buzzed with an incoming call from Tyler. Mind if I take this? Of course not, Mrs. Jenkins smiled. Tyler, what's up? I answered. Aunt Meredith just showed up at my apartment, he said urgently. She's demanding to talk to you. Did you remind her about the restraining order? Yep. She says she just wants to apologize and make things right. Claims she's getting help for her issues. Too little, too late, I replied firmly. That's what I told her, Tyler agreed. Want me to put her on? She's insisting. Fine, I sighed. But I'm not changing my mind. There was rustling. Then Aunt Meredith's voice came through, unnaturally contrite. Caroline? Please, can we talk about this? I've been seeing a therapist, and I realize now I've been projecting my own insecurities onto you. I never meant to hurt you. But you did hurt me, Aunt Meredith, repeatedly and deliberately. I know, and I'm truly sorry. Her voice cracked. Please drop these charges. They'll ruin my reputation at work. I could lose my job. Actions have consequences, I replied calmly. Something you were so eager to teach me, remember? Caroline, please, she begged. We're family. Families forgive each other. Forgiveness doesn't mean allowing abusive behavior to continue. Abusive, she gasped. That's a terrible accusation. I made some mistakes, but… Goodbye, Aunt Meredith. Please respect the restraining order. I hung up and looked at Mrs. Jenkins, who nodded approvingly. Boundaries, she said simply. 2 weeks later, Tyler and I sat with Eric and my parents at the lake house, enjoying a peaceful afternoon. The hearing went well, my father commented. The judge was very clear about the consequences if she violates the order. How are you feeling about everything? Tyler asked me. Honestly, liberated, I replied. For the first time, I can celebrate my achievements without waiting for the other shoe to drop. I wish we'd seen the pattern sooner, my mother said quietly. I'm so sorry, Caroline. You're seeing it now, I squeezed her hand. That's what matters. I still can't believe she showed up at the courthouse claiming you were exaggerating everything. Tyler shook his head. Classic manipulation tactic, I explained. First deny, then minimize, then blame the victim. She tried all three. The judge saw right through it, Eric added, especially when she started claiming Caroline had always been difficult and attention-seeking. Her face when Grandma Jean testified against her, Tyler chuckled. Priceless. It wasn't just about winning, I clarified. It was about finally being heard, about having people acknowledge what was happening instead of brushing it aside. We hear you now, my father said solemnly. Loud and clear. So, Eric smiled, changing the subject. Heard back from that research program yet? Actually, yes, I grinned. I got accepted. Full funding. That calls for a celebration, Tyler declared. And I know just the thing. He disappeared into the kitchen and returned with a small but beautiful cake decorated with a graduation cap. Sophia made another one, he explained. Thought you deserved an undisturbed cake moment. As everyone sang congratulations, I realized something profound. True family supports your rise rather than orchestrating your fall. Have you ever had to stand up to a toxic family member? What would you have done in my situation? Share your thoughts in the comments below.